All right, guys, Captain Paul here. Good morning. And today I want to talk a little bit about the boating market and what this trip got to me somehow. And I really started to see that separation between the rich and the poor. And I hate to say it like that, but you can really, the people that are more financially challenged are struggling even more, and the rich are getting richer. And you can really see that in the boating industry. This is the first time, it's not, I don't want to say that I opened my eyes to see this, but I really felt like, wow, there was a few instances on this one where I'm like, and the phone calls that I'm getting and stuff like that, where you I'm really starting to see it now. And so when I do these DIY videos, I really think that, and it's talking to like Steve and Bill and John and Mike and all of you guys, that if you cannot do these projects, if you cannot do these oil changes, if you cannot do these the service work, even Brian on the 65, he just bought it. It's brand new. It's the Riviera. He's down there. He's bending out props. He had to change a gasket in one of his through hulls, and if he had to sit there and wait to get all that work done, and then pay for every little mistake, it's complicated to explain to you guys, but the amount of money that it costs today to operate one of these boats has gotten exponentially so expensive. If you call a guy today, like I'm just going to use 30 Degree North is a company that's out here in Gulf Shores. Typically, they'll send 2 men. Each one of those men get billed out at $200 an hour. It's $400 an hour. Do the math. So in an 8-hour day, how much money is that? And these are the type of numbers that you're dealing with today if you cannot do these. So a simple oil change that you guys might think costs, like you say, wow, that's outrageous to even think that, that an oil change can cost that much money. But just the oil, the filters, all of that is almost right at $1,000, and you haven't paid one dime of labor. You got to dispose of the oil. You've got to go pick up the parts. There's a lot of stuff you got to do before you even get to the boat. And then in one of these cramped 4788 Bayliners, it's very difficult to work. And typically you'd pay one guy, so it's $200 an hour. And in an 8-hour shift, he can do that oil change. Both engines. You should be able to do it in about 6 hours, both engines. But there's always something, it's always like this particular oil change, I'm changing out the drain plugs. I'm pulling oil samples, so I'm doing more work, and so it takes a little bit longer. Especially, it's challenging in one of these the 4788 because it's a very limited access. You guys can see in some of the videos where I cut out that access hole, and it made a huge difference. But my whole point here is, I really enjoy doing these videos and these DIY videos. You have got to have some skill. You better be a decent electrician. You better be a decent, being able to change your own oil, especially you guys wanting to do America's Great Loop, and especially if you're on that very limited budget of, let's say, 150,000 or under. I don't think you can do the loop today. You can. I will admit you can do anything you want for just about any price, but don't forget, fuel's $4 or $5 a gallon, so you're gonna burn that. You cannot get away from that. And you got to be able to work on your own engines. You got to be able to diagnose things. You got to be able to change light bulbs. You've got to be able to do a certain amount of work. I want to hear in the comments. What am I exaggerating here? I mean, the price of insurance when I started here just a few short years ago, 5 years ago, my insurance policy was $700 a month. It is now that same policy for the same boat is over right at $4,000 a year. Sorry. $700 a year to $4,000 a year. Slip rent, when I had Southern Estate there, it was $1,740 a month plus power bill. It was right around $1,850 a month for slip rent. That was just slip rent. To keep Southern Estate up and running there towards the end, it was probably close to about $3,000 a month. but that's with my maintenance fees and everything, you know, because I pay to have the bottom done every month. And the price of that hasn't really gone up, and our wages really haven't gone up. The contractors out here and all of us are, you know, we're working for the same wage we worked for 5 years ago, but everything else is just gone so exponentially out of control that they have to charge. You know, I was in 30 Degree North talking to Eric yesterday, and he said just his insurance, this is just his insurance, is over $20,000 a year. So every day when he wakes up, just to have insurance to go out and work on your boat, he has to spend $20,000 a year, which is over, you know, you're talking almost $2,000 a month just to have insurance, just to come out and work on your boat. So, you know, you got to think about all these costs, and everything it's gotten so out of control, and, you know, it's just absolute craziness to me. And, you know, I don't know where it stops. I don't have all the answers. I know that I've hedged against it. You know, I have made some investments, and hopefully this is the only way I'm going to get on my Fleming, because to stay in front of this, you know, inflation of, let's say, what $100,000 would buy me 5 years ago, and then what $100,000 buys me today. You've got to be making quite a bit of money on your investments, or you're not, you know, that old 7% rule doesn't affect anymore. You need to be making more like 20% to stay in front of this inflation, because it's happening faster and faster. Price of gas is staying the same. You know, on this last little run here, even down in when I was on the Big Hatteras there, you know, we paid as low as $3.31 a gallon, up to I think $5.50 a gallon. That was in one of the smaller stops. But even on this run on the 4788, we were paid anywhere from about $3.99 to a little over $5. Same thing, about $5.50 a gallon here in the U.S. So the price of fuel has kind of stabilized, and I love catching it under $4 a gallon. Is my rule. If I see it under $4 a gallon, I'll stop and I'll pick it up. But you know, that you got to remember, I used to motorhome across the U.S. and I remember paying 99 cents a gallon. And then back then I was paying 99 cents a gallon, making probably $70,000 a year. But that's $70,000 a year. I was only paying 99 cents for a gallon of fuel. Now, 10 or 20 years later, you know, you're making $100,000 a year, and you're paying $5 a gallon for fuel. So where, you know, that's the exponential that we're moving up and up and up. And so the wages, yeah, they've gone up just a tad, but not compared to the price of the fuel and everything else. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I want to hear your comment. What do you guys think? What are you guys seeing? And is it only me? Are you guys seeing any of this? Anyway, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe, share it with your friends, and thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Bye.